diabetes. In the medical community, we have a big dispute. Is it reversal diabetes or is it putting it in remission? And the nice thing is, as per last week, I read in a Lancet a great article. It's a study, and they showed something. Let me actually show you a picture. Give me 1 second. It will not take me long. So I posted something. Oh, here it is. So I posted on Instagram, so I can just look at the Instagram post and share it with you. When I looked at this, it was like, oh my gosh, this is just, it's just such a good news. So you should see now my the post here. Do you see it? Yes. Because I never know what you see. Okay, so this is the article, and the title was 2-year remission of type 2 diabetes and pancreas morphology. And this was after patients lost weight with lifestyle modification. So the first picture on the top, so first on the left side, it shows you a pancreas. And you can see it's like all irregular, and it's skinny pancreas. It's less volume than the regular one. And the pancreas is right in the middle of your belly. So that's the one in diabetics. So people with type 2 diabetes, the volume of pancreas at the time of diagnosis typically is 30% less, and it continued to get worse. And now we have pictures of pancreas over 24 months. So the last one is non-diabetic, normal pancreas. But look at this, like gradually it's reversing. It's going back to normal. So when I look at this, it's like, look at this, we are like lizards. We can grow back our tails, you know, our pancreas. This is a really good news. This was demonstrated. So that's why it's like, there's never too late to do something for your health. The other thing is, it showed, because this was just an Instagram post, I didn't want to post too much, but it showed like insulin production improved too. Then the volume improved, everything got better. So this was very, very exciting. And it's really important to understand your body is just needing a chance to get better. So you give it a chance by giving a good fuel. Okay, thank you so much for having me. I appreciate this opportunity.
Thank you.
So you guys, if you have any questions, please let me know, and let me see if someone posted something.
Do you have some? Yeah, just post your.
Okay, so the email, what you posted, has a spelling.
Did I misspell it?
I think it's. See, that's my. No, you didn't. Sorry. Okay, good. So this is my course. Because it's like endocrinology is like the longest word ever. Okay, yeah, it's all good. Perfect. Thank you.
You should hear me pronounce that word.
And I see Elizabeth was relieved that she doesn't need to eat 5 meals a day. Honestly, a lot of times the entire intervention, I tell patients with diabetes who come to me, is like, no, you don't have to follow this not intelligent instructions. Just eat when you are hungry. And it's like magic happens.
Very good. Anybody has questions, you can unmute yourself and ask the question.
I have a question about what are you talking about when you say supplements? What are you recommending if you said you recommend people take some kind of supplement?
Yes, so the more I learn over those 5 years, so by the way, about the learning, what I did. So I'm, again, conventional trained doctor. So I'm internal medicine and endocrinology specialist. I didn't know anything about the supplements. What I did, I embarked on the journey to get certification for functional medicine. And with functional medicine, what you get is, you get the look, you look different. You don't look at the person as the organs, you look at the systems and the whole body. So it's more holistic health. But then in addition, you learn how to use botanicals. And it's amazing, to be honest, it's absolutely amazing what you have available in supplements. so what I do, so when I started using the supplements, first I learned like, oh my gosh, there is a big problem, because the supplement industry has been not regulated too well, and there is a lot of products which are really not good. And I wrote about this. Let me show you this. So what you do is when you go on my website, so this is my website, that's the top. So if you go, there is the supplement store, and here you can read a summary, but there was a study, there were a couple studies, but bottom line, they did a study when they tested off shelves different supplements, both like at different, at CVS, Target, GNC, Walmart. They tested supplements and the findings were like crushing. Look at this, like ginkgo biloba, and then no ginkgo found. They detected other stuff. It's like, one, you don't get the stuff you need, and second, you actually might get stuff you don't want, like a rice flour, which can be a problem for many people, corn or stuff like this, corn starch. So what I do, and it is available for everyone who knows me, you can go on my website and click on the full script button. It gets you to the full script store, and it's a physician grade dispensary of supplements. So so the nice thing about full script is they only carry things which are verified by the third-party testing. They are not the third-party testing, but they always verify. So you have a good brand and you have a good price. But then what supplements? So there are some supplements, to be honest, I think we all need always. There are 4. Number 1, magnesium. Why you need magnesium? We used to have magnesium, the soil quality is different. So the way how we grow vegetables and anything, even whatever we feed the animals, so we know there is much less magnesium in the soil, and in addition, we used to get magnesium from the water, and now with the way how we treat the water, we're getting another issue with the magnesium. So magnesium deficiency is extremely common, and we all should consider supplementing magnesium. So that's number 1. Symptoms of low magnesium would be issue with sleeping, for example. But frankly, magnesium is something what affects a lot of oh my gosh, I have like brain fart, sorry. There's a lot of things happening in your body on a biochemical level which cannot happen without magnesium. That's the easy way of saying. So magnesium is 1. Second, good multivitamin, and not the Costco one. It has talc in it. Not a big fan of talc. So good quality of multivitamin. They are great brands. The easy way of knowing if something is decent quality is try not to buy tablets. Get the capsules, vegetable capsules. Why? Because capsule holds the ingredients, but you don't need a filler to make it, you know, have a nice shape and so. So for the filling, they use corn flour, they use rice flour, they use talc. So you eliminate need for the fillers, and then, you know, don't go for something that has a nice smell and nice color. Most of the time, those are not natural. Even if they say it's natural, actually it's not. That's the legal stuff with the supplements. Okay, so good multivitamin, that's another one. So magnesium, good multivitamin. The next one is, it's the omega-3s. Omega-3, so this is something what reduces inflammation. In general, the way how we live, the way how we eat, we have too much of omega-6s. By eating less processed food, by eating less of the bad fats like the vegetable oils, you have a better ratio, but most of us, they benefit from like 1 or 2 grams of omega-3s. So omega-3 is a like good fat, good fish oil. If you have a fish oil, you take it, and then you feel like you're burping like fish, it's like this taste, that's because you had a bad quality omega-3. It's like rancid inside the capsule. So that's the omega-3s are sensitive to temperature, to exposure to light. So you want to keep them in a fridge at home or have it fresh and buy it from good companies. Like Nordic Natural is a great company. So typically for supplements, you go to health stores like Sprouts, Clark's, or you use online dispensaries. So those are the three, and there was fourth, which I don't remember. So
Zinc.
depending, oh, so the zinc is in multivitamin. You will have it, good multivitamin will have it. You don't want to use zinc long-term at high doses because zinc and copper, they interact. And if you bump zinc too much, then you have a problem with the other one. So the multivitamin, typically they have a nicely balanced, but then if someone has a lot of cravings, we do heavy magnesium, like 8 to 1200 milligrams a day, plus zinc 30 to 50 milligrams for 3 months. Magnesium forever, but zinc just 3 months, and then you switch to good multivitamin. Okay, magnesium. There are 5, and actually more, but 5 basic magnesium types. Magnesium citrate, magnesium oxide will give you diarrhea. So use it only if you struggle with constipation. Otherwise, you are going to be in trouble. So you want to use something like magnesium glycinate. This one is really good. Magnesium glycinate and tyronate, that's the one which helps with brain. So there are many different magnesiums. Okay, so those are the basics, but actually, let's say I have a patient who comes with me and the fatigue is the issue. Most of the time, fatigue is caused by mitochondrial dysfunction. We got to do another talk because I don't want to go, so sorry. So, but bottom line is the root cause of fatigue is mitochondrial dysfunction, and they're coming like, so can I take thyroid medication? Yeah, sometimes it is a solution if thyroid is not optimal, but sometimes giving someone just the thyroid medication is like pressing on a gas pedal when there is no gas in a tank. You cannot spark energy if there is nothing in the mitochondria. So then we use some supplements to help with the mitochondria function. And frankly, I learned about using like a combination rather than, I don't like having people take 10 supplements. I don't like it. I think it's ridiculous. It upsets your stomach. Rather than this, get the supplements which combine couple. So you take 1 or 2 or 3, that's it. So there are some very nice, like, but one of the important is like coenzyme Q10, ubiquinol. So that's something what is very important for your mitochondrial function. Resveratrol helps too. And then all the vitamin Bs. So a lot of times, this is last sentence or last two. A lot of times people would like, okay, I need vitamin B12. The problem is, if you just supplement vitamin B12, you might disrupt the balance of Bs. There is a lot of different Bs. So you always have to look at the bigger picture. So yes, sometimes we need B12 especially, but you might be like having one strong leg and the rest will not work well. Yeah, so the supplements are extremely important tool, but you got to know what you are dealing with. And like, let's say example is, I have a patient who have insulin resistance and issue because of this issue with weight or so. That's not just insulin resistance, that's the detox problem too. If you cannot eliminate toxins, you will always struggle with this problem. So it's like, even if I give you medication to make you more sensitive to insulin, nothing will work if we don't fix the mitochondria, which are needed for detox, and then we don't fix all the detox pathways. So as you can see, I am really, really liking the functional medicine approach to optimal health. And I've seen magic happen to my own health. And I am blessed to be able to live with normal blood sugars after 20 years of struggling with my diabetes. I am on insulin, please. I am not saying you can reverse type 1. But then in addition, the energy and so has improved. And I've seen it again and again with patients. Any other questions?
No, but you did very, very well. We want to thank you very much for being with us. This is a good eye-opening, especially coming up with the holidays now and creating all these pies and all the sugar coming up. So it's a good talk. Whatever works for each one of us. We're not the same cut as a cookie cutter. So You know, it is great. It is great. Well, I want to thank
Ranzel, I wanted to say thank you very much. As a primary care doctor, you're an inspiration, and you know, we're just trying to be. You're the light, we're the mirror. We're just trying to reflect all the stuff you're saying. So thank you very much.
Oh no, and honestly, the primary care docs, those are the ones who are really making a difference. You are at the front line when you can prevent the problem. So this is like anything to make you connect with patients. Thank you again for me being able to speak for you guys.
Welcome.
Looking forward to see you again.
Absolutely. As you can see, I cannot stop.
That's very good. Thank you. Let's all give her an applause here. All right. Okay.
Thank you.
Dr. Jerry Hison has something to share with us as well.
Yeah, I'll be relatively quick, but I wanted to sort of show you. Can you guys see my slides?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Then give me 1 second to switch this over. So I just want to show you what I'm going to be doing and maybe get your opinion. So I'm going to be doing grand rounds for Loma Linda. You know, they're doing this limb preservation program. So I just want to, I'll just show you the 2 points. First off, you guys know all of this, but just real quick, you know, our book is out. We actually have we have a Kindle version, we have the paperback, and then the Audibles will probably be within the next month. I saw the email. We've uploaded it, but it depends on when they'll allow us to. But it's 2.5 hour reading of the book. So all of the profits go to, and the proceeds goes to the Lions Club for these camps. And so we go to number 1, and we're very excited. Hopefully in 2021, we'll actually have an in-person one. So again, all the proceeds go to the Lions. And Dr. Ranzel, we'd love to give you a complimentary copy and let's get your opinion of it so we can make it better. But basically, the whole point of all this is to take the research, try to make it a resource that I think of type 2 diabetes as a 2-headed monster. There's blood sugar, but there's also the insulin. And that's where the diet comes into play, like she was talking about. Unless you look at both of those, you're just not taking care of it. So with Lions, you know, there's a phrase, this was out of Singapore, that to know diabetes, then ideally there is no diabetes. And so Dr. Ranzel, I kind of used a little bit of your method and added to it. So we came up with the 5M method: meals, monitoring, medications, movies, and meetups. So the theory would be those 3 square meals a day, ideally eating real food, keep your insulin low, and then slow down your carbs at the very least. Avoid the fast carbs if you can. That's a good start. I like the idea of not having snacks after dinner. That's a good point too. And understand that there are no essential carbohydrates, that in excess they are detrimental, and that maybe you should be limiting them. So those are all the things that we like to mention to people. And there's a lot of other people out there that are talking about this. We like Diet Doctor because they have over 500 YouTubes to talk about. And then the worry is, are these saturated fats risky for us? But this came out this year in the American College of Cardiology that showed that whole fat dairy, unprocessed red meat, dark chocolates actually show no increase in cardiovascular or diabetic risk. So the first thing is we don't want to do any harm. And a low carb, healthy fat oil diet is not bad for the heart. It actually, in fact, it's very healthy for the heart. We like to monitor, and that's the first thing, is what gets measured gets managed. Medications, I like to think of them, Dr. Ranzel, like a ankle brace. I'm a sports medicine doctor. That, you know, I give you an ankle brace if you sprain your ankle, but I don't expect you to stay in the ankle brace the rest of your life. I'd love you to rehab your ankle so you can get off it. There are some people that never get off an ankle brace, but same like medicines for type 2 diabetes. And then this is what I teach at the residency program, and this is what we're giving them, all the different kinds of medications. But what I focus on is the top line. The top line is a comprehensive lifestyle, including weight management and physical activity. So if you're good here, you don't have to go to everything else. And that's what we're hoping for. We like to give people things asynchronously to watch, to try to get ideas on what could be out there. And then these meetups are quite compelling because, and the people in this kind of know that they are helpful to hear other people chat. And we do them the first and third Wednesday. And it'd be nice to maybe rotate in yours that you do that we could kind of look at. So then this came out last year, and this is sort of when I really got intrigued. This study identifies primary care knowledge gaps and barriers to type 2 diabetes prevention. So this was in one of our journals that we get. And basically what they say is that we in family medicine, as she was talking about, you know, it's called medical school. It's not called nutrition school. It's not called food school. It's called medical school because we learn the medicines. We really don't learn any nutrition. I mainly learned it when I was teaching the fellowship in sports medicine. So there is a lack of resources in some areas. And basically, there's a lack of education and tools for the management of diabetes. If type 2 diabetes is a nutritional disease, it should be treated with nutrition. And so these physicians lack the ability to send them to an intensive place where they can get dietary management and lifestyle management. And intensive therapy reduces diabetes by 58%, as she was talking about. So there is a campaign to increase awareness, and that's what we're trying to do, as well as the CDC and the American Medical Association. And so we're very, very excited about all this. So now the one thing that we did want to talk about, though, is that diabetes, you're considered diabetic at a certain point, but you're pre-diabetic for almost a decade before. So we in primary care do have the responsibility of trying to pick up these pre-diabetics before all the damage is done. And so that's going to be something that we talk about. And then this has to do with diabetic, the pancreas not necessarily functioning well. But I wanted to go all the way. So anyway, fasting blood sugar increases over 1.5 to 3 years before the diagnosis. And we need to start looking at this in primary care so we can pick it up before it's a problem. I'm going to fast forward towards the end because I didn't want to go too far. But this is to a bunch of doctors, and they love a lot of numbers and stuff. But this shows some of the positives of the, well, let me go back to two things, sorry. This was looking again at the safety, and remember Sarah Hallberg was one of the ones that gave one of those great TED Talks. But the cardiovascular disease risk factor response to caring with this sort of sustained carbohydrate restriction at 1 year. And so what they found is that basically there was a focus group, and then there was the sort of placebo group. So these are the people that we did intensive management with using an app-based sort of program with coaches and nutritional guidance. And this is the usual care group on the bottom. And so what they found is that when you do this intensive program, you decrease their triglycerides by 24%. That's one of the harmful cholesterols. You increase the good cholesterol by 18%. You decrease some of the harmful other, what's called cardiofactors. You decrease their blood pressure, their C-reactive protein, their white blood count, and you decrease their 10-year risk of arteriosclerotic heart disease by almost 12%. And you can stop their blood pressure medicines and almost 12% of the time. So all of this is kind of good stuff, but what I wanted to finally talk about was this thing that just came out basically in October, so just last month. And it was through Emory, and the article was dated, the title was From Fad to Fact, Evaluating the basically impact of emerging diets on the prevention of cardiovascular disease. And so what they looked at was the two diets, which frankly to me are kind of one and the same. Ketogenic means fat burning. And if you do intermittent fasting, eventually you start burning fat. So it's essentially one and the same. But are ketogenic diets and intermittent fasting safe for cardiovascular disease? And so after careful consideration and evaluation, and we're talking almost hundreds of articles that they looked at, clinicians may consider employing a ketogenic or intermittent fasting dietary approach to mitigate cardiovascular risk factors. And for me personally, I've had a stent in my heart when I was on a vegetarian diet, and this is why I'm encouraged by this, but all the chronic diseases are improved. So this summary slide is kind of exciting in that this shows the different diets that are recommended. So I went to Piapi, Italy, where they invented the Mediterranean diet, and went there actually twice, brought patients there. And so the Mediterranean diet is what all the cardiologists recommend. And then, especially, we're near Loma Linda, which is very plant-based, and they show studies that show that, And then the DASH study is another study that's sort of touted. But if you look at the ketogenic and intermittent fasting, there is this question of dyslipidemia, meaning that does it increase your LDL and is that bad for you? And there is a lot of controversy about that. They have not said that we have enough evidence to show that it helps long-term with obesity, because they don't think you can stay on a ketogenic diet for very long. But there's people who've been on it literally decades and do fine. And so in general, the only lack of challenge is that it hasn't been studied that much, because frankly, there's no money in it. There's no pharmaceutical company. There's no sort of religion behind it. There's nothing like that. So in general, we're very excited. And the idea that you look at the timing of your eating is very important. This purple means that there's prevention benefits. So you can see the only purple one is with this timed eating part for the diabetes. So all of them help with diabetes. What I'm most excited about is people have options. The problem is people have options. They're all confused. And so that's where we, as Lions, we want to serve. We want to come in alongside and make the research into a resource for you. That's why we came out with the book that basically kind of culminates all of the research studies. We also will do it as an Audible, and then we continue to do these both monthly or bi-monthly meetups, as well as ideally intensive weekend programs. So we're excited that our book is out. It's now in paperback. It's a great stocking stuffer. All the money will go towards the diabetes camp so that we can have people who really need it to have intensive training. And then our goal is to keep pushing this, especially to the new physicians. We have 26 new residents a year. We're going to start eventually getting up to 300. And they're all very excited to learn this because, again, you can see in the training before, we never had nutritional teaching. And because of this sort of stuff, they're getting it now. And I can already see the difference in how we take care of our diabetics. It's going to take a long time because the guidelines are very, very powerful. But I think we need to follow the science and treat people as individuals, like Dr. Enzel said. So that's kind of going to be the crux of what I'm going to be talking about at Loma Linda. They're having a big challenge with foot amputation in diabetics. And all I'm asking them to do, since they are essentially on a vegetarian diet, is just respect your carbs. Not all carbs are the same. Like she was talking about with the pizza. I mean, if you eat a Twinkie, that's not the same as sort of a above the ground green leafy vegetable. And I think you have to know that. So we're pretty excited with Lions. We're getting a lot of stuff done. It's going to be something that is a labor of love, and we appreciate all your help. But what we'd really love is your guys' feedback on how to make it better and how to serve you better. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. So we open for questions again. If you have any question of what Dr. Jerry Hison had presented. I tell you, I'm really excited about the book as well, because not only because it's giving some donations to Lions Diabetes Camp, but also the resources and the workbook that is attached to it. Amazon takes about 50% of the earnings. So when you go and buy the book for $19.99, remember that $10 is all what it comes to Lions Diabetes Camp. But the important thing is that that book contains guides, has a workbook, has a lot of resources for you to look into it. And now again, it's not only, it's going to be in paperback, is already published, but it will be also in Audibles soon, within 30 days, I believe that's what they told me. It will be available as well. But it's very exciting the way that we had started and how we are progressing. So our next meeting is on the 16th of December. It's getting very close to Christmas and all that, but I think that it's good that we continue being together and being supporting each other, especially going through the holidays. It's not only emotional, but it's also tempting for all the things that we have around us. And I am number one right there because I love sweets and I really have to watch.
Me too.
Yeah,
Everybody. That and fruit.
You aren't alone, Lydia.
I'm glad I'm not, because I think sometimes I am.
Dr. Hazen, I've got a question. As you know, I'm a senior, and you know, and the thing I find interesting, attending our classes online and talking with you at our get-togethers, and is how come, or how can you get this into the insurance companies, especially for Medicare patients? You know, there are a tremendous amount of Medicare patients that are on Medicare that have diabetes, and that you don't see anything offered from the insurance companies who you think they'd want to.
right. Well, interesting you bring that up. So I'm giving a talk tomorrow night there's something called the Accountable Care Organization. So it turns out, and this could get very, very good, that Medicare realizes that you need to try to incentivize best practices. And so, and diabetes is 1/3 of the healthcare dollars.
Yeah.
And so what they're doing, and this is one of the things I'm presenting, is that if we keep you healthy and we save Medicare money, they will share the savings with us. So now it's become incentive to get them to feel better. But we've never had this. I mean, frankly, what we're proposing is relatively novel. Dr. Ansel will tell you, like, that's not the mainstream. So the key is, as I joke, there's 4 rules to medicine. Number 1, nurses run the universe. You nurses out there know that. Number 2, nurses love chocolate. So ideally low carb, dark chocolate. But then, you know, doctors are important, and doctors like data. So that's what we're trying to do. That's what this book is. That's what our case studies are. That's why I'm going to present it at Grand Rounds to the other doctors. But once, so number 1, it has to be safe. So we are essentially going against the guidelines. But as you saw, if I show them, look, I'm doing the guidelines, I'm just doing the top part of the guideline. And then and my insurance company even asked me, they said, how do you have the best A1Cs for your patients, yet you spend the least on medicine? Because I tell them, because I spend the most on nutrition. So now that we have big data and they're following us, this could get very good. So at the end of the day, you know, it's follow the money. And the money is going to be, if I can keep you healthy, there actually are shared savings. And actually, I get a benefit, you get a benefit, everybody gets a benefit. So I know it's going to be slow, but now that we have electronic health records and they can track you and they can see how you're doing, it's called population health. And so that's what they're going to be tracking. So I would like to think in the next, I'll throw out 5 years, this may be a diametrically changed thing. And interestingly, just to digress, but this coronavirus COVID pandemic is preferentially targeting uncontrolled diabetics, not diabetics, uncontrolled diabetics. So that's why it's really important now. And that's why they're starting to take a look at this, that there is a way to do it. The problem really is that there is no pharmaceutical company that will make any money off of this. It just isn't profitable, but it could be profitable in a sense to Medicare in that they'll be able to save a ton of money. Yeah. So, and what's the worst thing is a diabetic gets admitted to the hospital, they're put on a high carb diet. Like, it's horrible. Like, it's unconscionable. And all my patients just cringe, and they're like, just do what you can, get out of the hospital, and then we'll get you better. But the dietitians, by the guidelines, have to give them carbohydrates because they don't want them to get too low. But it's really, I'm on the board of governors of the hospital. I cannot change what they're doing because they got to follow the guidelines. They can't follow the science like us doctors can. And so that's why we're looking at it. So hopefully, sorry about that long answer. Sorry.
That's all right.
Okay.
Good answer.
Thank you very much. And thank you for being with us this evening. And I hope to see you on the 16th. Okay. All right. If you need any other questions, email me and I will be sending the responses. I look at here that the book is in Amazon right now. So you can just go in Amazon and look for guide and workbook for Najee Way diabetes, and you will find them there. I'll send you more. If you need more information, I can send everybody's information. Okay.
And if you need the guidelines, there's like a workbook as well as a trifold that will be on the website.
Yes, we are trying to upload that. Okay. Thank you very much. All
Thank
right.
you, Dr. Enzo. Thank you, Dr. Izan. It was great. Good job, guys.
Thank you, Dr. Gaia and Dr. Izan. Bye-bye.
Thank you. It was great being here.
Thank you.
Thank you all very much.